relate to the issues I hear about. And invited Congresswoman Chisholm to campus. Lo and behold, she said she was running for president. And so I went up, I talked to her, introduced myself as president of Black Student Union, told her about this class, and she says, and she's still, until she died, she called me little girl. She called me a little girl. She said, you have got to get involved in politics. You've got to register to vote. And she, at that moment, I was so much like so many young people, didn't believe the system would work. And so she convinced me. I went back, told my professor, ended up organizing the Northern California Shirley Chisholm presidential campaign, and we got 10% of the vote in my area. So that was my entree. So she is with me day and night. And I always think about Shirley during June. This month offers us an opportunity to send a message of goodwill, first of all, to the Caribbean American community, but also to the region. You know, oftentimes I'm on the Appropriations Committee, Subcommittee on Foreign Operations, and have been on the Foreign Affairs Committee for probably 8 or 9 years. And so a lot of my work has to do with funding, USAID, funding, trade, development, aid, all of the foreign policy issues as it relates to resource allocation. And I constantly fight to make sure that the Caribbean region has parity with regions throughout the country. And I think it's very important, for example, that we included the Caribbean as it relates to HIV and AIDS as a priority. And every step of the way, our sisters, Frederica Wilson, Yvette Clark, Sheila Jackson Lee, all of our members of Caribbean descent, Congresswoman Donna Christensen, I want you to know they are phenomenal. They make sure that all of us remember that the Caribbean and every policy and every foreign policy and every appropriations measure that we look at, that the Caribbean and Caribbean countries are a priority. And so I want to thank you because during June, you remind me and you remind everyone on the Hill that we cannot forget that the Caribbean is an important region to our country. The Caribbean American community is an extremely important community in our country. And as we work and fight for immigration reform, we must do it in a way that's inclusive and open to future generations of Caribbean Americans. And so that, again, is part of what we have to do during June, is to become even more vocal for comprehensive immigration reform, because that is really essential as we move forward in this country. And so I just have to thank you again for being here. I want to thank President Obama and the White House for hosting this very important meeting. And just know, this month, we celebrate. But we also know that we have a lot of work to do each and every day. So stay in touch with your members of Congress. Look at what our legislative agenda is. Support the president and his agenda, and make sure that the Caribbean region continues to be a priority, that Caribbean Americans continue to be recognized and honored and saluted for the major contributions that you have and will continue to make. Thank you.